Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. A couple of weeks ago, I got on a kick per some questions and answers, and I came up with this. And the original young lady I was doing it for, actually, if you Google this word, it comes up with a bunch of cool designs. Zentangle paradox. So I kind of thought, man, that would look really cool like that. So, and I've still got if you watch some other parts where I used the polygon tool flyout because the polygons go away after you select a bunch of them. But we're going to grab a 12-sided polygon, and I am going to Control D and make a duplicate, and I'm going to make it 99% and rotate it 1 degree. And then I'm going to Control D. And you can leave that little square or not, or go pretty deep. So that's pretty cool. Now, here was the problem, and the reason I put this on there. The polygon tool is right there, and it's 12-sided. But if you select them all, it goes away. So I came up with this. It's just taking it out of the deal, and it brings it back up. Well, let's turn this into a 4-sided polygon, and you get that right there. Now, there is some parts left over outside the polygon that we don't want. So what we can do is, we have not blended anything, and I've got my nudge factor set on like 10 inches. I'm going to make a duplicate of that, and I'm going to move it over. And then I'm going to fill that in with any color and move it back. Whoop. But you can see it's not on top because we can see through it. Let me zoom in here a little bit. So whenever you click off, it's still selected. I'm going to go to Object. Well, I forgot one step. I'm going to go ahead and do this front of page. But I'm going to move that out of the way. For this to work, you have to group this together, Control G. Now I'm going to put that back, and I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to intersect it. And what the intersect's going to do, it's going to take away and make it square. So we can get rid of this now. And I just thought this would be pretty cool to do this form right here. I had a little bit of a problem because I had to do it manually, but I'm going to draw a polygon now and make it 6-sided to make a cube, holding down this control button. Then grab your 2-point line and go to the center outwardly. And then you just go from node to node. Now this just puts lines. So what we have to do now is smart fill these so they will be a solid unit. So now we have a cube like that. I can here and go left click, right click, and get an outline. Now, I'm going to kind of turn this at least close to this. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to make a duplicate and put it over here because I'm going to need it in a second. Now, if you try to blend into this spot, I'll just show you what happens. We'll go to Effects and Blend. I think because there's so much going, not blend, envelope, Effects in envelope. And when you grab this and put it in there, it doesn't really work. And it actually messes it up on some occasions. So what we're going to do is just do it manually. So what I'm going to do now, instead of using the envelope up here in the tools, I'm going to use this one here on the toolbar, and I'm going to envelope. Well, I actually need to make it flat. So let me back up here. And I'm going to rotate this guy. Well, I need it semi-flat. And I don't think it has to be perfect, but we want it at least in the general area. That's pretty good. Now we're going to take the envelope tool, and it's got 8 nodes. So I'm going to delete these middle nodes by just selecting them. Then I'm going to select all the nodes, and I'm going to right click and turn them into a line. Now I'm going to make another copy of this and put it over there. Now I'm going to get this kind of close, and with my shape tool, well, actually the envelope, and then I can move that up to that node. So I'm doing this manually, but it really does it a lot better before it would really mess with the drawing. Now that one's pretty good. So what I can do is hit the plus key on the keyboard and mirror it. And I have that, and then I can take this one and just put it up in there. And you really want to make sure it's on the line and on the dot, because if you don't, you'll have that. So what we need to do is you can take the shape. Well, let's just still use the envelope tool. That way it'll move the whole thing. Now on the top one, I don't know that this came. Yep. I'm going to just use the shape tool. So the top one is not the same shape. So you can't just rotate it because it's more flat. So now I'm going to take this one, trying to grab my pick tool, get a little bit closer. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to grab the envelope tool. Same thing. Well, it doesn't have the extra nodes. And I'm going to right click, and it's already aligned. So maybe it just does it. Oh, I made a copy of that. That's right. So we could kind of rotate it now, kind of get it more in a general area. And let's zoom in here. Grab the envelope tool and put that node right there. Make sure it pops to a node. That way you'll know it's right on the money. And because we've deleted those other parts, now this one's a little bit harder, but if you had to, you could move those out of the way. But I just happened to hit it perfectly. Well, you know what? I'm off a little bit on this side. And you could use the shape tool, but that would only, I think, just move one part of it. And then I'm still off on this corner. Because if you were going to engrave this, you'd want it dead on. Well, oh, there it is. Couldn't see the node. That's pretty cool. And I'm going to X this out now. If we make, these are lines, so if we made the lines yellow and put a black background or a dark blue background, it'll really make it stand out. That's pretty cool. And the pattern, I guess you could play around. These two kind of match. I don't know that the top would ever match. I mean, it kind of matches there, but it doesn't match up with there, but it's still a pretty cool pattern. Anyway, so Google that, and I'm going to Google it again and maybe look at some other designs for it. But I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.